Hey geniuses, I am going to go through with you some of this brainstorming from my point of view. I'm imagining now that I am 17. I turned 18 right after I graduated. So I'm 17 years old. It is the fall of 1991, and I'm trying to decide what I'm going to write about for my college application essay. So that's how I answered these questions, okay? Now I have to tell you my story about my college application essay because it's a sad one. I had no idea what I was doing. I went to Minnetonka High School, and at Minnetonka High School in 1991, everyone acted like we were all going to college. There was no question. That was what we did. We were going to go to a 4-year college after high school, period. And not a lot of time was spent explaining how that would happen. And my family, none of us had gone to college. My brother did for a couple years. Another brother took a course or two at a community college, but not one of the 6 people in my family had graduated from college. And so I didn't really know what the heck I was doing. I knew that I had to write a college application essay for one of my top schools that I wanted to go to. And I was also in a creative writing class. And so I ended up using a piece I was writing for creative writing that was about a girl who was living in the woods and really had nothing to do with me personally. So needless to say, I did not get accepted into that top school. And the people who read my essay were like, what the heck is this girl talking about? Is this girl homeless? Like, what is going on here? It was, it just wasn't an appropriate college application essay. So I don't want that to happen to you. And that's why we are here. My path led me down a different place, and that was fine, but I want your path to have more options than mine did. So the first 5 topics in the questions here, the brainstorming questions, 0.4 step 2, things that you think are unlikely to have happened to others. And so remember this idea of the college admissions folks reading 5,000 essays, right? They're spending weeks and weeks, 40 hours a week, reading student essays. You want to think about what is going to make you stand out from all the others. What is unique to you? Now, if only I could have spoken to the Michelle of 1991, because she had a lot of good things she could have written about, but she did not know that. One thing was I grew up helping to take care of my oldest brother who has severe cerebral palsy. He was in a wheelchair. He couldn't she couldn't get dressed and things like that. So I could have written about that. That would have been a pretty gosh darn good college application essay, but I had no idea. What are some other things unique to my family that I could have written about? The fact that we lived on the same plot of land for 3 generations. That's kind of unique. My great grandfather bought the land and then built a house on it, and then that same land my grandfather built a house on, and then my father built a house on, and we lived there for many years. I also had the opportunity to witness some litters of kittens being born. Me and the cats, I got to include that somehow, right? So my cat was not fixed, and she was an outdoor cat. And so she had several litters of kittens, and she always chose my closet to have them. And it was pretty magical having those baby kittens in my closet. And something else that's unusual about my family is we were pretty strict. It was pretty, my mom especially was very fundamentalist Christian and sort of hardcore about some of that stuff. I don't know if I really could have written a good college application essay about that at the time, especially because I was super bitter in 1991 about that fact. But all ideas are good ideas right now, right? It's brainstorming. Something else unusual about me, I was the youngest of four. I had three big brothers who were 7, 9, and 11 years older than I am. So these are the kinds of things that you could write about. Other things I've seen people write about are maybe if they have some kind of extracurricular jobs that are really intense or interesting. Other things I've seen are when you guys are taking care of siblings. That's a really good one to write about. It shows a lot about your maturity when you're able to do that. And believe it or not, most people applying to colleges haven't had to do that. So that would work really well. All right, so those are some ideas. Number 2 is glitches that maybe appeared on your application. Maybe I could write about the fact that I only had 3 years of math. I doubled up on English classes instead of taking math classes my senior year, knowing I wanted to pursue English in college. Number 3 is think of a story that exemplifies one of your best traits. There's a link in Schoology of a bunch of adjectives. And so what I want you to do is to use that list to first find 10 that best describe you. And there are many, many adjectives on that list. I don't know, maybe there are 500 or something like that. You find the 10 that describe you best. That's your first step for letter A. For letter B, you're actually supposed to delete 4 of them. So I'm just going to cross off 4. And I'm going to say, critical thinking. I don't know how well that would make an essay. Driven. I don't know how driven.